Greetings from Podcastville. The joint is brought to you by DraftKings. I don't know if you're living behind a fucking rock or whatever the fuck, but the biggest college basketball tournament of the year is heating up. This Sunday, the brackets come out, and the clock is ticking as the seeds get ready for the tip-off. Get off the fucking bench and get into this tournament action. Bet $4 on the underdog. If they win, you're up to $256. That's fucking insanity. And it takes $4 to get a shot at winning $256. The bank is open, bitches. If anybody knows about being an underdog, it's your Uncle Joey. But look at me now. There's no better way to put your college basketball knowledge to the test than to put your money where your mouth is with DraftKings Sportsbook. Do me a favor. Let's cut this shit. Download the top-rated sportsbook app, DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code Joey. When you sign up, you're going to turn $4 into $256 if the underdog of your choosing pulls off the upset. Where have you fucking... Who takes care of you like DraftKings? Nobody, the cocksuckers. That's code Joey to turn $4 into $256 for a limited time only. You got to start this weekend with this. Hey, listen, the brackets get released Saturday or Sunday. I don't fucking know. But I do know this is the way to go. DraftKings, right now, download the fucking app, the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app today, right now. And for a limited time, right now, we're going to take care of you with $4 to turn into $256. Who's better than fucking you? Nobody. Go to DraftKings right now and download the app and use promo code Joey. Here's the part the lawyers make me say. You got to be 21 or older. Go fucking get your roller skates. New Jersey, Indiana, Pennsylvania. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Now, if you have a gambling problem, you got to take care of it. You got to call 1-800-GAMBLER or in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT. But first, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and tell them Uncle Joey sent you. There's a tremendous game tonight with San Antonio versus Dallas. You could start your fucking action tonight and you'll be ready for this weekend's action. And if college basketball ain't your fucking thing, they got NBA, golf, hockey. They got a full-length casino. So go to DraftKings app right now, promo code Joey. The joint is also brought to you by my favorite, Lucy Nicotine Gum. Listen, it's March fucking 9th and you still haven't quit. You've been telling yourself you want to quit. When you're craving a smoke, you just need a little something to satisfy the habit. That's why I love Lucy. Things may be rough, but you don't need to smoke anymore. Right now, it's time to get your health in order. Get Lucy today so you're prepared when you get the itch. Keep it on you for when the craving hits. The craving's only like a second, 60 seconds. So you subscribe so you have it when you need it. Lucy Gum actually fucking tastes good. It comes in 3 flavors, wintergreen, cinnamon, and my favorite, pomegranate. If you don't like the gum, they also got a cherry ice flavored lozenge that'll make you jump up and fucking down and salute the flag. Listen, with me, I love the pomegranate. I love the fucking cherry ice flavored lozenges. Take a chance, Columbus did. Why do you want to keep fucking smoking? Get healthy. Go to lucy.co and use promo code Joey to get 20% off all their products, including the gum and lozenges. That's lucy.co. Use promo code Joey. And here's the lawyer part. Warning, this product contains nicotine. No shit, derived from tobacco. Nicotine is an addictive fucking chemical. But you already knew that, so just go to lucy.co and be sure to use promo code Joey. The joint is also brought to you by Stamps.com. Listen, you know what this life is about? Saving fucking time and making a little bit of money. That's what it's about. But time, let's face it, taking trips to the post office ain't how you want to spend your fucking time. That's why I recommend Stamps.com. You could send letters, send packages, anytime, anywhere, right from your computer. Stamps.com has saved businesses thousands of hours and tons of money. My wife has been with them, 10 years. You can wave the package at your house, put it out in the thing, and the post office picks it up. The same with UPS, and get discounts up to 40% off in the post office rates and up to 62% off UPS shipping rates. That's a lot of fucking stamps. Stamps.com is a no-brainer. Stop wasting your time by going to the post office and go to Stamps.com instead. There's a no-risk, No risk. Here's what I'm going to do. Use promo code Joey, okay? You're going to get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone on top of the homepage, and type in Joey. That's Stamps.com. Use promo code Joey. Stamps.com. Never go to the fucking post office again. It's time to get this fucking party started. It's Wednesday morning. Candles are lit, motherfuckers. Do what you need to do. Uncle Joey loves you.
Hey, how you doing? Come on in. Yeah, Joey's in the back.
Check 1, 2. Welcome to Uncle Joey's Joint.
Greetings from Podcastville, you bad motherfuckers. It's Wednesday, the 10th of the month. I'm happy you're fucking here. I want to thank Dean Delray for coming on Monday morning. He made my week just looking at him, just reminding me of, I do miss a lot of fucking people in Los Angeles. I do miss the Rogans and all those guys, but it was nice having him on here. I wasn't kidding you guys when I told him that he helped bring me back a little bit with the DL music and just the music all around. He was a dear friend, and I fucking love him to death, so I'm happy. But we didn't get a chance to chit-chat about what's been going on in my life. The other night, I'm fucking sitting there watching TV. I'm minding my own fucking business, and all of a sudden I see this fucking, the Kardashians, right? And I'm sitting there, and I just saw that it was coming on. I didn't click on to whatever the fuck it was. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is the attraction with these people? How the fuck did they stay on TV all these fucking years and people got sucked into it? I've tried watching it a couple times. I mean, the show isn't bad. I'm not putting it down. I'm not sitting here saying that. But who fucking sits there religiously every week following the fucking Kardashians? It's like, they've created like a fucking soap opera, living soap opera. The husband turns fucking LGBTQ. He switches fucking governments. Kanye West is fucking crazy. The sisters must have like a fucking plastic surgery farm or something. The chubby sister, I saw a commercial with her that she gets migraine fucking headaches. She looks like $1 million fucking bucks, the chubby sister. To me, she's kind of cute. She's a sweetheart. People always cheating on her, I don't know what she did to deserve this, but I mean, it's the truth. I just don't fucking know. You watch these things and you're like, what is the fucking connection that people have to this? But people have connections to podcasts. People have connections to different shows, But that show, there's just certain things that I've never bought into. It's like the connection to Meghan Markle and that fucking pale cocksucker from England. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. Listen, I don't give a fuck of what goes on in England, especially right now with COVID and the people dying and the pandemic and the fucking vaccine and the fucking 96% and which, it's like a game of Jeopardy whether we're going to live or not. Which fucking, now they added an extra fucking thing. So it's either Pfizer, Moderna, or fucking Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson is one shot. So, you don't even know. People are fucking calling me, Joey, did you know how to get a shot? Listen, we got a friend, that's it. And my wife got in there because she's a smoker and she's 50 and she's got heart problems. I'm waiting. I'm going to wait like a month or two to the mass exodus before I get my fucking vaccine. I will get it eventually. I'll probably get the Johnson & Johnson. It's one less fucking torture session. Listen, before I get a needle, it's a week of fucking trauma. Like if you call me right now and go, we need to see you March 29th in the doctor's office and you need to do like a fucking heart test or something and we're going to put ink in your vein, I'm fine till a week out. Just sit here with me. You'll see me melt, deteriorate right in front of your fucking eyes. I think I'm just going to do a Johnson & Johnson, go in there one time. I'm going to bring a mattress with me and put it next to me in case I fucking fall. You don't know how many times I fucking hit the deck over fucking needles. Last time I fainted was a shot to the ass when I got married. Before that, one time I was in acupuncture, and she didn't lay me down. She just laid me this way on the table, and I was on a chair, just like this one with wheels. And I looked up, and I saw like a needle sticking out of my fucking shoulder, and I was like, that's how I tore my first meniscus on the left side. I didn't tell her because I didn't want her to feel bad, but I just looked over and I saw the needle sticking out of my fucking thing, and I fucking just rolled off the chair and fell that way. So that's what I'll do. I just bring a little fucking, like a wrestling, like a Fuji mat. You know how Fuji sells mats and shit? And I'll tell a little Chinese guy, listen, before you shoot me, once you see the sweater bead go down my face, fucking take the needle out, because I'm going the opposite fucking direction. I'm even going to position my chair so I can just roll off onto the fucking thing. That's it. Listen, I hate fainting. I hate the feeling of going under and you're losing fucking consciousness and shit. But you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take a piece of this Lucy Co right now. This is my motherfucking here's my favorite out of all the flavors of pomegranate. I got to tell you guys something that I never told you. I don't know if you know this fucking story. I quit smoking. I smoked twice in my life. Like an asshole. And you guys, listen, we'll talk about it later, but I've told you guys for years, I'm no fucking surgeon. I'm no brain genius. I got my own problems. But I have jumped out of Mike and I were talking before the podcast. And he goes, people want to hear your opinion on that. You know, when I was a kid, when my mother first died, I don't know if I've told you this, I did acid. I started doing just one hit, here and there. And then I was doing it fucking every night. And then I went on a tear. I heard that these guys, there was a group of guys in my hometown, they didn't fucking drink. They drank every night throughout the Iran-Contra when they were holding us hostages. That was their thing. That was their way of fucking whatever. They drank for 144 days straight. I don't know. Remember, I don't know, it's 1979, 1980. I took a different route. I started taking acid every fucking day to deal with life and after my mother's death for a year or maybe two, from maybe the beginning of 1980 to the middle of 81. I was a part-time mescaline salesman. I had the little dots. I would go up to Pennsylvania on the weekends and buy 300, 400, 500, whatever I could sell, But part of that, I was taking those, and I have told you guys that, part of my coming back after my mother died, what kept me together was my friends, but it was also that I was experimenting, not with the fucking tubes and the jacket on, none of that shit. I'm not a half a fucking fruitcake. I was fucking dropping hits every night, and my tolerance got high. I was dropping 5 hits a night. I would drop 4 hits like it was nothing. And then I would go home in the peak of it and listen to music with earphones on and reflect on my mom dying. It's like an out-of-body experience. You can look within and heal yourself. I mean, it helped. It didn't heal me, but it helped. It kind of helped. I know a lot of people right now that are microdosing. And now the other day I read an article that people are using it as a way of therapy. And for me, I agree with it. Would I prescribe it? I'm not a fucking doctor. I'm just telling you what works for me. And it was, like a lot of people get mushrooms and they order empty capsules on Amazon and they fill them up. I don't know what the weight is. And then they'll just see what they need every day and they'll microdose mushrooms for psychological reasons, for PTSD, for trauma, whatever. Even for what I was going through, which was lack of focus. You know what I'm saying? Thank God I went back on the on the Alpha Brain. Thank God I got back into reading. I mean, listen, I was reading books. I read the Halford book and I read my friend's book and I asked myself, what the fuck did I just read? And I couldn't come up with a fucking answer. So I just went back to reading books that I had already read. I'm on my second one. In fact, I wanted to read a section out of there for you guys. We're not up to that part yet. But I took acid as a comeback. I took acid for years, and then cocaine took over, and then we moved on. But let me tell you something. In the beginning, what kept me alive was doing acid. So, I don't know what you're going through or whatever, But I know a lot of people, like, that's why they legalize these type of drugs. I think, a lot of these people taking these mushrooms. I know Josh was doing it. I heard Duncan was doing it. I know Dean Delray does it from time to time. And you know what? And Dean's not a junkie. Those guys are not drug heads. They smoke pot, whatever. But they say it helps them with their well-being. So if you're going through something, I don't know, it's just an option maybe. But I was laughing before the thing. I was talking to Mike, and I was talking about Lucy gum. But it's not bad, and I use it. I actually ate all the fucking Lucy gum when I got it. I had to call Lucy Company and get more. But I started smoking at 32 years old. When I moved to Los Angeles, it was 97, so I was 34. I had never smoked a cigarette. I couldn't get in the fucking car with you if you smoked cigarettes. And finally one day, I was just like, fuck it. I was watching comics. And I noticed that even Josh Wolf, a lot of guys, Doug Stanhope, a lot of guys would smoke before they went on stage. And I asked them, why do you smoke before you get on stage? And they were like, well, it takes care of the nerves. I go, really? Because I used to be fucking nervous like we all are, which are butterflies. So I picked up a fucking cigarette as much as I hated. And it was one of the worst habits I ever picked up. Never mind a plan of Zam and the other problems I had, cocaine. I'll tell you, man, cigarettes are fucking horrid. Cigarettes are fucking horrid. So I started smoking cigarettes, and I would buy a pack at night, and then as I was going home, I would give them away. But then I also enjoyed if you do coke, oh my God, cigarettes are fucking the shit. When you do coke, that's the shit. You just burn through those fucking cigarettes. That's why I was saying the other day with the Doug Stanhope podcast, when I used to see Steve-O get 2 cartons of cigarettes. When I was going home with an 8-ball or a gram or 2, I'd get like 2 packs of cigarettes, maybe 3, buy 2, get 1 free, that type of shit. That's how, but I was smoking, you could ask anybody, Josh Wolf, I could smoke 2 packs a fucking day. I went from smoking casually to smoking 2 packs a day. That started in 1997. When I got together with my wife, she smoked, and I smoked, so it wasn't a good fucking combination, and she was smoking Marlboro Lights 100s. Are you fucking crazy? My wife is a fucking savage, and I was smoking Camel Lights. But then I got to the point where I would smoke whatever, and this is how I quit. I just, between the reefer, that's why you hear that fucking wheezing in my lungs. It's not, bro, my lungs are fucking tanks. They've been through hell. You have no idea what my lungs have been through. If I could pet them, I would. If I can do something for my lungs, I fucking would. My lungs have been through hell. They have been through hell. They deserve all the love in the world. I think about my lungs all the fucking time, and I rub my chest, and I tell them thank you. Because when I smoked, I smoked. When I snorted, I snorted. My poor lungs have been through fucking hell. They have been through hell. This last time when I did this fucking surgery, I did a chest x-ray, and the lady goes, your lungs look pretty good. I go, no emphysema? She goes, no, not from what I'm seeing. I'm like, fuck, like 8 years ago, I had emphysema. So me cutting down on the weed since I got back here and all this shit has helped a lot. I sound a lot better, and I'm a lot happier. But let me tell you how I quit smoking. A lot of people don't know. This is the technique Uncle Joey decided to use, because I didn't think that. I tried the patch, and it made me dizzy. I tried the pill. There's a pill you could take, and it fucks you up mentally. I'd be at the comedy store thinking I was a fucking juggler and shit. It just, the pill made you fucking crazy. I don't know what it's called. I don't want to know. Shantrum, whatever the Shantex. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. So this is how I quit smoking. I said, fuck this. I got an 8-ball, and I went home, and I brought 1 cigarette upstairs. That's it. And I snorted for like 3 fucking hours, dying for a cigarette. Because anybody who snorts coke knows if you don't have a cigarette, you lose your fucking mind on cocaine. Same thing with drinking. There's people who like to drink because they smoke. So I was like, listen, the only way I'm going to quit smoking is I got to fucking torture myself. This is the type of guy I am. I break myself. There's a certain discipline you have to have as a man, that you have to look at yourself and go, you know what, I'm going to torture myself. So I went home, I got an 8-ball of coke, and I took 1 cigarette upstairs, and I threw away my wife's cigarettes out the window. She had quit already. She had quit. there was like an emergency pack. I threw them out the fucking window. We lived on the 3rd floor in Hollywood. I got this 8-ball. My wife was sleeping, and I started snorting at 11. I had one cigarette. Finally, like, at 3 o'clock, I broke, and I smoked that cigarette, and I had another 4 hours of snorting before I could get another cigarette. But I knew one thing. If I could go the whole night without a fucking cigarette, like 4 or 5 hours, that's the strength of 1,000 fucking... that's strong as shit. Once I realized I could snort coke without smoking cigarettes, I was good to go. And I'll never forget the first night that I did it. After that night, like I still remember waking up and having a call from Ralphie May and him picking me up. And I knew he wanted to smoke reefer. And I was a little bit on the fucking weak side. And listen, if you smoke weed, you know that when you smoke weed, if you smoke cigarettes, there's nothing better than smoking a joint and following a Marlboro Light. Ooh, with a cup of coffee. Who's better than fucking you on a Monday morning? You ever sit there with a fucking joint and a cup of coffee, then you blast out a cigarette? Ooh, it feels fucking tremendous. I didn't think, like I was saying on the Joe Diaz project this morning, yesterday on Patreon, I was talking about fucking, you have to, it all starts with your mind. Like, your mind has to see it. You ever ask you, like when I quit cocaine, I couldn't see myself quitting fucking cocaine. I couldn't see it until one day I could see it, and then it happened. With cigarettes, like, I got sick and tired of stinking like cigarettes. I just got sick and tired of always having to have a fucking cigarette around me. And I had to go outside. Once my wife quit smoking, I couldn't smoke in the fucking house. And I just knew that, when you weigh 400 fucking pounds, it's not good for. When I was doing the longest yard, I was smoking 3 fucking packs a day. No wonder I was 418 fucking pounds. Four packs a day. And that kid Lobo Sebastian in the movie, he was getting free cigarettes from Marlboro. So he was giving me fucking cases. Marlboro was just swinging by and going, just mention us in a movie or whatever. It was fucking amazing. So I was taking home all these fucking cigarettes. I was 400 fucking pounds. How much time are you going to last being 400 fucking pounds smoking cigarettes? So I said, fuck it. I'm going to fucking stop. One thing at a time. Everybody wants to quit everything all at once. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to quit smoking cigarettes. It's not going to work out. Somewhere along the line, it's going to fucking fall apart on you because you can't control that many things. I just focused on not smoking. And I still remember Ralphie May picking me up and us being behind El Compadre smoking a fucking number. And I still remember going, fuck, I need a fucking cigarette now. And I held it off. Pretty soon it was day number 1, day number 2, day number 3, and that's when I picked up Nicotine Gum. So Nicotine Gum helped me in a way. It was a lot better than a fucking patch. I don't know why I'm telling you this fucking story, but I figured I'd tell you the story anyway. If you're looking to quit smoking, this is the way to do it. I forced myself with the fucking 8-ball just because I knew it. And you know it. If you do blow or you drink, there's some people that once they quit smoking, they quit drinking because they don't find the enjoyment no more. It goes hand in fucking hand. And I understand it. But anyway, that's it. We'll just talk about that and leave it at that. I had a nice fucking weekend this weekend, guys. I really, man, you look at me, you go, Joey, you're looking way better. You're thinking clearer. My eyes are clear. I don't look like I'm fucking, happing a bag all day. I got the weight of life lifted off me, and I got to become a regular person again. You don't know how nice that is, to just be a regular person, for people not to fucking want pictures, just for people to treat you regular after a while. It was just, we went through an overwhelming period. I'm not a fucking crybaby. I'm not, it was just overwhelming as a comic. When I moved, that's what the relief is, But my weekends have been getting a lot better than they were. I'm going to do these 4 shows left, and then I'm just going to search for whatever Joey Diaz wants to do. Joey Diaz doesn't know what his next step is. I know that the 3 chapters are finished for the book. So my agent asked for an outline. And tomorrow I'm going to talk to my partner in crime, Erica, and we'll have a subtle outline. So the wheels are moving, guys. just because I'm not doing stand-up doesn't mean that I'm not fucking working, you know. It doesn't mean that I'm not writing. It doesn't mean that I'm not doing a podcast. I even released a Spanish fucking podcast this week. It's god-awful. I released it on Patreon. My Spanish is fucking horrendous. But you know what, man? It's time to get out of my comfort zone and try different fucking things. You know, I'm at the 70-30 mark right now with my messages. Whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, I'm 70-30. What does that mean? 70% of the people are doing great. 30% of people are fucking struggling. And I'll tell you, I'm one of those, you know, I'm one of those people. I'm in that percentage group. But I could tell you that I was a lot worse when I got off the plane in August. What made it good was re-enjoying life, re-finding what brought me pleasure. It wasn't just comedy. It just wasn't doing a podcast. My life was just, it ran away from me. Sometimes, you know, thank God it didn't run away from me on drugs and shit like that. It just, life was moving too fast for me and for a lot of other comics. I've spoken to a couple comedians the last fucking few weeks, and they've all said the same thing to me, that, bro, the amount of work we were doing was, you know, in the old days, comics went out Tuesday through Sunday, blah, 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 and you knew where you stood. Now you have podcasts, you have to be a guest on podcasts, and you have to fucking work. So we were working triple time of what we usually comic does. And this isn't from my mouth. This is from other comics that were like, you know, we felt we had to keep up with Tom Segura. Like, we all felt we had to keep up with that speed. And now all of us are fucking sit there laying there going, what the fuck is our next move? So you think about, you know, so for me, I have to get out on the weekends. I have to do something else. I have to do something completely different. And for me, I found refuge in my friends. I think that if you're going through something right now, I get it. I understand it. But you got to reach out to your friends. I mean, therapy is therapy. If you need to see a therapist, but before you get out of control and go see a therapist, I think your friends. For me, man, listen, I wasn't having a bad week last week. I had a great week last week. I'm off the fucking pain pills. That was the number one thing. You know, I'm moving forward. It may not seem to me sometimes. I'm a little hard on myself, but I'm moving forward. I'm doing things that I never did before. We're at the 2-month mark from the surgery, from the knee. I'm walking better. I do not trust it. You know, last week Sam Tripoli was in town at the Dojo Comedy. I love Sam. I was supposed to drive out with Jimmy Florentine on Thursday night. Jimmy Florentine's son had a game, so he couldn't go Thursday night. Friday, my wife already had a dinner date. She was going out with her girlfriends. And Saturday is our night here. We do Honeymooners, White Castle, you know. We do all that stuff. We do All in the Family. I let my daughter watch All in the Family. The other day he said something. It was like a racist term, and she didn't know what it meant. I said, you don't need to know. Don't need to fucking know. But every Saturday is the same thing here. We watch Bunked and Jesse on Disney. And then at 9:30 we throw on at 9 o'clock we throw on All in the Family. And at 9:30 we throw on the Honeymooners. So Saturday I was going to go. Saturday night I go, you know what, I got to see Sam Tripoli. I called I was at a friend's house Friday, and I called my buddy up. My buddy called me up, George, out of the blue, from F&D Framing, and he calls me up, and he's like, I just got hit by a guy on a bike. Now, George is my brother, but he's got a fucking weird sense of humor, and I love him to death. When he told me I got hit by a bike, and I landed on my ass, I'm like, what are you talking about? I was involved in the conversation, but I saw it was my brother calling. I don't want to think he got mugged. So I excused myself for a second. I go, what's going on? He goes, you're not going to believe it. I just got hit by a fucking guy on a bike. I go, where? He goes, in front of my business. I landed on my ass. I go, what the fuck are you talking about? Are you okay? He goes, yeah. I go, let me call you back when I get home. So I never thought about it. I didn't call him back Friday night. You know, I was busy with my daughter, blah, 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 blah. Saturday, I call him and I go, hey, man, I need a big favor from you. Because, guys, I can't drive at night. I live in the fucking sticks. There's no streets. There's fucking deer everywhere. The highways I could see, but once I get off the highways and get on those numbered fucking things, I can't fucking see. I called him up. I called George. I go, George, what are you doing? You busy? He goes, dog, I'm just recovering. that fucking bike hit me so hard. I didn't even go to work today. I'm fucking hurting. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he goes, yeah, I fucking flew up in the air. When I got hit with the bike, I just flew in the fucking air and landed. And I go, what are you talking about? And he goes, yeah, the guy hit me, apologized. He was a nice guy and stuff. But George went flying, so George is like, I'm not going out. So I was like, you know what? My wife wasn't driving me to whatever. We didn't have a babysitter. I can't get a babysitter just on a drop of a fucking dime. So I miss Sam. You know, I felt terrible about it. I felt fucking terrible about it. But on the other hand, it's a different life I'm living right now. Right now, I couldn't imagine going somewhere and getting COVID for a reason that I shouldn't be there. Do you know what I'm saying? And if I would have known, I would have just gone out in the daytime and done lunch with him. That would have been my easiest fucking bet. So my apologies to Sam Tripoli that I didn't go support him. I love him to death. He's my brother. I just don't have it no more. You know, I got obligations at the house now. I'm a different fucking man. And that's what's going on in my world. You know, Sunday, I went down to, my brother came up, the one whose wife died. I went down to see him in Toms River from 11:30 to 2:30. Their family took me in. And then from there, I went to Bobby's house, and I hung out over there in Jackson for about 3 hours with my wife and their dog, and, you know, their mother-in-law lives with them, and Mercy and the mother-in-law get along great. So this is the same lady I hit on 40 years ago before my mother died. I hit on Faye at the fucking park. Now she's my daughter's favorite fuck. She's like a fucking stand-in grandmother here in New Jersey. But on the way back, it was interesting because my wife was like, you know, I could see the change in you. I go, what are you talking about? She goes, when you were talking with Mike, I could see your guys' 40 years. You could see the 40 years. When you were talking to Bobby, I could see the 40-year friendship, you know. And he goes, but you and Mike are like fucking frickin' frack. You guys are on your own fucking language. You get up at the same times. You know exact. I mean, me and him were brothers, you know. So I got to see him. But my wife always, the reason why I'm with my wife is because my wife isn't street heavy. But every once in a while, she says something to me to blow me the fuck away. You know, every fucking 3 weeks, she'll say something to me, an observation that she makes of me, that I'm like, fuck, you know, I didn't even see that, you know, like she saw that. So she's like, you don't know how lucky you are. I wish I had that. I have that with my sister, but I don't have that with any friends. I go, you know, it's tough to explain to people. I mean, I must confuse you guys when I say my brothers. Because I tell you, I have no family. I keep saying my brothers. They're my brothers. I don't know how God made it. You know how Mary got pregnant? Remember how Mary, Jesus' mother, was like the Immaculate Conception? Nobody fucked. Like, nobody fucked. Like, my mother didn't fuck nobody for me to be brothers with these people. But the way God or life or the universe made it happen, they're my brothers. Bobby's my brother. Fucking, you know, Mike is my brother. His brother, Steve, is coming over for some reefer later. He's my fucking brother. You know, I mean, I have 10 people, Jimmy Labrano, Georgie. I mean, these guys are like blood to me. I look at their fucking eyeballs and I know what their next move is going to be. You know, I found out this weekend, after 6 months, why I moved here. The reason why I moved here was this weekend, for weekends like this one, you know, to just go out and explore. And my daughter and wife Saturday were gone till fucking 9 o'clock at night. I was here alone till 9 o'clock. I mean, I did a bunch of shit that I had to do. I went to the gym. I got together with Mike. We dicked around a little bit. You know, but she was gone till 9 o'clock. Most husbands would be pissed. I was like, you're having the time of your fucking life. They weren't doing this in California. Nobody was inviting us over play dates unless they wanted something from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, people invite us over, next thing you know, hey, can you talk about this on the podcast? I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That's why you invited my kid over here. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck who the fuck I am or who the fuck I'm trying to be. Nobody gives a fuck. I want to talk to you guys about fucking something. I don't know if I told you. I got my first fucking guitar lesson Monday at 5:30 at Zoom. Jimmy Page, look out, cocksucker. I'm coming to light your hands on fire, you fuck. I'm going up to fucking Seattle and cutting Jimi Hendrix fingers. Somebody already did that. Somebody did that. That's why they had to separate Jimi Hendrix and Bruce Lee. I don't know. I don't know the whole fucking story. I took my first guitar lesson. Listen, I did it on Zoom. You know, I do all my stuff at stage to sound. Or sound to stage. I don't know what I'm backwards or forward. That's why I do my ads for Spotify and all that stuff. And I found out they did lessons there, like they did piano lessons. My Mercy's friend Nicole has piano lessons over there, and she called Mercy. She goes, "The guy over here knows your dad." So my wife was like, "Yeah." Joe goes down there to do his ads and stuff like that. So when I had to go read the ads last week for Rogan, I fucking talked to the guy and I go, "You do guitar lessons out?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "What type of guitar do you want to learn?" I go, "Well, my buddy, I thought that you start on a classical guitar, but he gave me the fucking best guitar in the world, some fucking Stratocaster Deluxe or something." So I go, "I don't know." And he goes, "Yeah, fucking people learn on the fucking electric guitar all the time." He goes, "I got the perfect guy." He goes, "Give me your influences." And I told him, you know, I love David Gilmour. I love Page. I love this guy. I mean, I love so many fucking guitarists. You know, I love Tom Morello. You know, it's so hard to land the style. You know, yesterday I opened up a Rock Lobster on Patreon. I love that guitar at the end of Rock Lobster. That little heroin addict could fuck that guitar up like it was nobody's business. Rest his soul. I think he died after the second album. But listen to the beginning of Your Own Private Idaho. Like, if you listen to the chords on the beginning of the Your Own Private Idaho, Jesus Christ, that fucking guy didn't fuck around. There's live footage right now on YouTube of Rock Lobster, like them in a bar from 79. Watch that shit. Watch that motherfucking guitar player. He shreds it. Another guy I like that a lot of people don't ever talk about is the little fucking midget from fucking The Cars. Oh, shit. He's from Strong Island, some little guitar player. The guy that does the leads on Candio and all that shit. That guy don't fuck around. I forget what his name is. One of you guys will tweet it to me. I love that shit. I fucking, you know, my influences range from Clapton, the racist. A couple weeks ago, you people were all mad at Clapton because in 73 he said some racist shit. He was on heroin. What the? He was in love with fucking George Harrison's wife. Give him a break. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine being in love with somebody else's wife? You hate everybody. Arabs, Spanish people, black people. You don't give a fuck. You're in love with somebody else's wife. You know, I love Clapton. I love Page. I love fucking Gilmore. I love Iommi. You know, Angus, forget about it, you know. The other day I was listening to Let There Be Rock, and I was trying to learn the chords to Overdose by myself. Oh my God. I almost overdosed on pain. It was so fucking horrible. Because Mike and everybody was like, "Oh, you can teach yourself how to play the guitar. Just put like an album on, whatever." And I'm on YouTube. So I said, fuck all this shit. I'm just gonna get a fucking Zoom lesson. And I learned a couple things. I learned like bing, bang, bang. So it's just on the bottom.
How to pluck it.
Yeah. The G chord, and I play it, and I play that. So last night I did my fucking exercises. My wife went to bed, and I came back here and did my little thing. Today Mike's got to tell me how to hook up the fucking amp for my lesson tomorrow because he wants me to have my fucking amp. And I'm off and running. For you motherfuckers who sent me emails on Facebook that said I sucked, God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. You're cooking with all fucking measures here. I just took my first guitar lesson. I expect to suck for the next 3 fucking years. How's that one for you? So if you thought I was trying to be Jimmy Page, it was a joke. Do you guys know the difference between a joke and a fucking, you know, I'm no guitar player. I'm barely a fucking comedian. I'm barely walking and chewing gum at the fucking same time. And you people putting me down. Some guy that just woke up on a bad fucking day, saw a video of me playing the guitar and fucking Facebook me that I'm terrible. I don't know what I'm doing. No shit, Sherlock. You just fucking noticed that? You're a fucking genius for noticing that.
People that ride shuttles.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing that, listen, and I get it. You're waiting for unemployment. Your job furloughed you. Somebody close to you passed from COVID. You know, these are frustrating times. But fucking lashing out at people, that's just not, it's not cool right now. We have enough fucking problems going on. Well, Meghan Markle said that the kids are pale. I don't give a fuck. People are dying of fucking COVID. Was that something about the kids being pale? She doesn't want the color of the kid. I don't.
No, the British people. Somebody in the family said something to them about, "Oh, are you worried about how the shade or the color of your child?"
Those ugly motherfucking listen, for fucking a prince family or king or whatever the fuck they are the ugliest white people I've seen in a long time. I haven't seen ugly people like that since I went to Moonachie, New Jersey. They're fucking pale. They got problems. The one prime minister, they're the ugliest. The old lady, I don't know what the fuck. Listen, you know what? I stay out of that shit. I don't. It's got nothing to do with Uncle Joey. I got enough just walking around trying to be a fucking dad. Now I got to worry about Meghan fucking Markle and what she's fucking doing. Who gives a fuck at the end of the week? I just give a fuck about this circle right here. I give a fuck about Mike. I give a fuck about you people. I give a fuck about your lives. If you're healthy, if you're hungry, if you're eating, if you're fucking down, if you're happy, whatever. That's what I give a fuck about. The people in my fucking immediate circle and how I can help them. People in England, what am I going to do? I can't even send a shirt to Great Britain. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, there's a fucking new tax you got to go around, so I can't send merch to fucking Great Britain now. I don't know what's going on over there. But me, you know me, I mind my business and I keep pushing. As far as the Spanish podcast, this is my plans. I'm going to lay it down on Patreon for a few weeks. I'm going to talk about music and shit like that, introduce a little music just for a few weeks, and then I'm going mainstream with the Spanish podcast. I'm going to have Zooming guests that speak Spanish, whatever, controversial guests, whatever. It's funny. I was sitting for 3 weeks trying to ponder how I was going to do this podcast in Spanish. And again, I went back to Joey Diaz's faggy side. We all have our faggy side of us, and no disrespect to nobody. We all have our little fucking side that procrastinates everything. You're not special. We all have it, including me. It's not procrastination. It's that I don't want to fail. Nobody wants to fail. But you know what? If you don't fail, you're not going to fucking learn anything. So for 3 weeks, I was fucking sitting there. How am I going to do this Latin podcast, blah, 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 Spanish podcast? I really want to do it. My Spanish isn't up to par. I understand that. But I don't give a fuck. So Monday morning, I woke up. I had to go to PT, and I got up early. I kissed the baby to go to school, blah, blah, blah. She goes out to the front. I watched till the bus comes. I came back in, and I go, you know what? Today's the fucking day. No more procrastination. No more thinking. No, that's the problem, is we overthink everything, and I'm included. I raised my hand. I'm guilty of that shit, too. You try to overthink, especially now, when you have nothing else to go through your mind. You overthink everything to the last detail, to the point of you get scared. It's natural. It's whatever. Me, I got up. I was fucking Monday. I got up in the morning. We did the podcast, whatever, Mercy. And I've been reading again. I told you that for me to get mentally strong and for me to help write, I knew I had to read. So Jimmy Florentine gave me the biography. I read that first. Erica gave me her book. I read that first. My comprehension levels were horrible. When poor Mike is a saint and he's trying to teach me the guitar and I can't comprehend it because he's my friend. I can't comprehend what he's saying to me. I'm very anal when it comes to that. Like I could, like my cousin just called before, but I like jiu-jitsu. I wanted to learn jiu-jitsu. You know what? You go down there, you want to learn a little extra, you got a private, whatever. But I'm the type of guy, I want to learn from a professional. Like when I lift weights, I have somebody there with me. I do semi-private training. You know why? Because I want somebody to watch me. I'm not a weightlifter. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. When I was a kid, yeah, I did 5, 6, 6 behind the neck, bent over rows, one arm, all that shit. And what happened now? My shoulders are all fucked up. I can't raise my shoulders up. I've been working on it. I've been doing functional training. But if I'm not an expert in something, a lot of people do their own thing. Me, I know I'm a fucking idiot. Okay, before we even get this conversation started, I know me, and I know what I could do, and I know what I can't do. And there's nothing wrong with having shortcomings. We all have fucking shortcomings. But one shortcoming I don't have that pisses me off is that I procrastinate, but I do have fucking balls. Like, that's the only thing that pisses me off sometimes, that I catch myself procrastinating something. It could be anything. Wednesdays when I wake up and I got to go do comedy, I procrastinate it. It's just something natural. And then I think about my balls. And I go, what the fuck? You know, I just got to read this to you. Just an excerpt from a book. I thought it was very interesting to me to read this. I thought this was great. This is from the book The Corporation. I picked this up just because I had read it before. It's a great book. But I read this and it really made me think about me. And this is why I started the podcast. This is, you know, this goes back to the move. This goes back to fucking everything. One thing that could be said, and it often was, about Jose Miguel Battle was that he had big balls, cojones. In Latin culture, it is important, as in most patriarchal societies, being noted for having big balls was a metaphor for courage and the highest form of praise. Machismo is the logical manifestation of the philosophy, the belief that all life originates with the male organ and the precious seed that is, after all, conjured from within the testicles. Big balls connote power, because a person with big balls is a person without fear. That's an excerpt from The Corporation. And I kept it. I even fucking kept the card in there. I kept reading because I wanted to read that to you. To me, balls is everything. When you see me get up in the morning and I write that thing and you're like, he keeps talking about balls and assholes and grab your balls, it's because in my society, balls are fucking everything. From a Cuban standpoint, if you don't have fucking balls, it's not going to work out for you. You understand me? It starts with your fucking balls, it connects with your fucking brains, and then you make your fucking move, and that's it, and that's fucking that. That's that fucking easy. But it all starts with balls, and you got to grow a pair from time to time. And trust me, it took me a long fucking time to have balls. Because people, I could continue reading that. It also said that having balls means sometimes that you're not that intelligent. And that's where I come in. I'm not that intelligent. I never sat across from you and told you I'm intelligent. I have told you one thing. I got the fucking balls to back up whatever the fuck I tell you. And I'll back it up 150%, whether it's my comedy, whatever. When I beat myself up, it's because I sucked. It's not because, you know, I don't like to lie to myself. I'm straight up with myself. So when I read that, I got so fucking pissed off. I'm like, that's absolutely right. My culture is about fucking balls. Los cojones. You got to grab your fucking pinga and go out there and sling fucking dick. And I'll keep saying, when I read that, I stopped in my fucking tracks because it's true. I've eliminated the machismo shit from my life. When I was a kid, when I was like 18, 19, I had that Cuban machismo, and I realized it wasn't going nowhere. That jealousy, those are fucking weaknesses. To me, they were. You know, you get jealous with girls, you get all that shit I had to remove from my life because I knew it wouldn't work. And that takes fucking balls to do that shit. It just won't fucking work, man. And that's why, listen, everybody knows, and that's what everybody will fucking tell you. I'm not that fucking smart. I'm not that fucking good looking. I'm not the fucking keenest guy in the world. But when it comes to balls, I'm right there with the fucking best of them. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I don't like needles, but some people don't like. I know guys that have bigger balls than me and say to me, I don't know how you do what you do. But I have a friend that is fucking deadly. Deadly as a human being. Deadly. You understand what I'm trying to say to you? When I talk to this guy, he reminds me once a month about how he'd rather die than go up on stage.
It's a scary thing.
I've offered him like $5,000 to do a guest set, just 1 minute. Go up there and just do a fucking joke. Like I told him when I did like theaters and shit, I go, come over to New York and you have to conquer that fear. And he's like, fuck you. That's one fear I don't want to conquer. This guy has killed before. This guy has done 20 years in fucking jail. You know, he just got out maybe 8 years ago and we became friends again. You know, I've known him from grammar school. Listen, his biggest fucking fear, this guy has stabbed people. He's put guns in people's mouths and shit. He doesn't give a Frenchman's fuck. He's told me things that have made me fucking cringe. But his biggest fear, he goes, I don't know how you do it. He goes, you doing that made me love you even more. He goes, when I watch you in those fucking Comedy Central things, I'm sweating for you. He's like, I'm up there sweating for you because I don't know how the fuck you do it. He'll stab 10 guys. He'll shoot 10 guys, but he won't go. He says he's even embarrassed to talk in a group at a table.
I felt that before, but what?
People get embarrassed. People just don't like it. Some people just don't like it. We all don't. What makes the world go around is that we all don't like the same thing. Can you imagine if all of us were the fucking same? I think a guy left Patreon a couple of weeks ago. And I know, I'm going to say this, and you guys are not going to be happy with it. He asked me what my favorite Bill Murray, is that his name? Movie was. I told him right now. I go, I'm not a big Bill Murray guy. He was like, how can you be a comedian and not be a big Bill Murray guy? I go, dog, everything's not for everything. I'm a big Harold Ramis guy. I loved fucking Bill Murray and Stripes, you know. I didn't like Ghostbusters. I walked out of Ghostbusters with the dude who stabbed 20 guys that did 20 years. I went to see Ghostbusters. I used to go to movies with him. We used to go to movies all the time. Charles Bronson movies. We were fans. You know, he's not from North Bergen. He lived in Fort Lee. But this guy just got out of fucking doing time. We used to go to movies all the time, and we used to go to movies and concerts together. And we both had the exact taste for the shit. Me and him would go to a movie, and all of a sudden we'd just look at ourselves and go, let's get the fuck out of here. We walked out of Twisted Sister. We walked out of Ghostbusters. We walked out of 20 fucking things together, and we would just go home. I remember one time I gave him a head of ass, and he went home. I go, what? He goes, I'll never do that again. Yeah, because you went home. Who the fuck goes home on a hit of fucking acid to look at your mother and father? That's fucking humiliating. You should have stayed out with me and walked around and gone to the park and thrown bottles at people, anything. But you don't fucking go home on a hit of acid. But anyway, that's the way life works itself out.
Dogs talking to you?
Yeah, you're going to go home and fucking look at the walls and shit. The first time you do acid, you need to be around 3 or 4 people. And, you know, talk and fucking walk or whatever the fuck you're doing. Listen to music, but you just can't fucking go home and sit and stare at your parents. You'll fucking lose your mind. I have a hard time just getting high with my wife in the fucking house. I go outside to get high, come back in, they look at you like you're fucking Johnny Creepo. So
that's just weed.
And that's just fucking weed. Can you imagine on acid, everybody's looking at you, you're all fucking, your eyes are glowy. I remember one time we did fucking ketamine in the fucking office. I'm not going to tell you what it was. That's the only time we fucking, for the guy who had the secret tape of us doing blow from 2006. Yeah. I've got undercover footage of Joey Diaz doing blow. No, we never did blow. And that's Lee. We never did fucking blow. We had blow in the office, but we gave it away to people who, I had a guy that dropped off a package from time to time and would say, here, take this. I don't do it no more. And there was a picture of Lee. I would hide it behind Lee's picture. So if the cops came, they thought it was Lee's. There was a picture of me and a picture of Lee behind the door. So it had a ledge to it. Like it was like an artist draw it. So I would take the fucking picture and put the package there. And then when somebody would come in that did coke, I'd ask them, you want some blow? No, really? Yeah. Boom, and they fucking take it. But one time a guest came and they brought some fucking ketamine. I was like, what the fuck? And I did like 2 or 3 lines. Lee did like 2 or 3 lines. And then he left it behind. Like he took a baggie with him, but he left like a half a gram on the fucking table. And you know me, dog. Old habits die hard. I'm like, Lee, what are we going to do with this? We just can't put it in a package. You know, you just can't put it away because it's going to be here haunting us. Let's just fucking finish it. Now, the first 2 or 3 lines weren't that fucking bad. I got to be honest with you. They weren't bad at all. It was when we split that little pile up, me and Lee. It was like 9 o'clock at night. We split that little fucking pile, and I thought nothing was going to happen. We had an edible in us. We had a bunch of shit in us. And, dog, after I did that line, I got up to pee, and I was like, oh, shit. I am fucked up. So I went in, I peed, I washed my hands, I got my fucking bag. I gotta get the fuck out of here. He's like, where you going? I gotta get the fuck out of here. I went downstairs, I got in my fucking car, and at the light, all I had to drive was to a light, make a left, go down past one light, and I was home. So I'm like, you would never fucking see cops. And I would, you know, and I didn't have any alcohol in my breath, so I was fine, you know, unless he looked at my eyes and they were pinned. I get in the fucking car on this fucking ketamine, and I make that left turn at the first light. It's Colfax, and I'm on Chandler, and I'm making a left onto Colfax. And as I'm making a left around, it felt like I was in at a amusement park. Wee! Like I made the fucking left. I'm like, wee! I'm like, oh, Uncle Joey's fucked up on this ketamine. Then at the next light was where Yum Yum Donuts was. I'm sitting there at Magnolia, and I'm looking at Yum Yum Donuts and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? The sign was starting to wave. And I'm like, Joey, you fucked up. I get to my block, I make the fucking left. I pull up in the driveway, and when I take my left foot to land on the floor, I open up the side door, the driver's side door, to get out of the car. And when I put my foot on the fucking door, on the floor, I could feel it creeping. Like this drug was in full effect. I'm like, oh my God, I'm fucked up. I walked in now to all the nights. Usually when I get home at night, my wife's out. Very seldom would that fucking living room TV be on. It was like 10:30 on a Sunday night. I'm figuring my wife is out. She's passed out. We got there. And the scary thing was we got to the office like at 4. The podcast was like at 4. And we got so fucking high. We stayed there till like fucking 9:30, 10 o'clock. The podcast finished like at 7. We were just so fucking high, talking back and forth, all three of us, and the guests left. And then we had that pile, and we did it. When I fucking walked in the house, I opened up that door, and I seen the TV was on. I fucking shit my pants. I'm like, God damn it, now I gotta face my wife. And that's somebody I have a hard time facing when I'm fucked up. So I honey, I'm home. I got it. You know, she said, yeah, I could hear you. I went into my fucking office, and I'm sitting in the office. I got like a hooded sweatshirt, like a hoodie, a T-shirt on, whatever. And I'm like, boy, it's getting fucking hot in here. And I'm like, woof, it's getting fucking hot in here. I take the fucking hoodie off. And do you believe it's still fucking hot in here? I'm like, woof, it's too fucking hot in here. And then I took my T-shirt off. I'm down to just titties now, sitting by myself in front of the computer screen. Something I don't like doing. I don't sit in front of the computer screen with my top off because I got that camera on me. So some guy could be watching me with my fucking shirt off and my tits out. I don't need that in my life. So I'm like, I'm going to get off this. I shut the computer down, and I just sat at my desk getting higher and higher. The edibles and the ketamine were fucking, I think ketamine is like an animal tranquilizer. The guy who gave it to us told us that they tried it on experiments. That too, that's another drug that they're working on, PTSD and different fucking forms of brain fucking things. They're using ketamine also. So he said, it's good. They give it to retarded people. I don't know what the fuck he meant. I know for a fact I was fucking retarded at the end of the night. I was sitting there fucked up, and I'm like, I gotta tell you something. I better go out there and sit with my wife before she comes in here and sees what's going on. So I put my T-shirt on, and I went out to the living room, and I sat with her. She was watching True Detective. That, I don't know, I think that's what it's called on HBO. This had to be 2-3 years ago. She's watching True Detective, and I'm sitting there next to her. I'm like, hi. And I just sit there, and she's not even looking at me. But I'm watching this TV, and I'm getting fucked up. And it was the guy from Blade, the guy that played the head vampire in Blade. It was his season. And the African-American guy that was in the Green Book. And I was looking at the African-American guy that was in the Green Book, and his head kept getting square. Like, for some reason, I'm watching the TV, and this brother's head is going from being a regular fucking head to like a box. Like, it got square. And I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at my wife, and I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at my wife. I'm like, oh, my God, this brother's head is getting square. Or I'm seeing a fucking square. Oh, my God. And finally, I started freaking out, and my wife is looking at me, and I'm sweating profusely. I'm trying to cover my face with it. I'm trying to just, like, wipe it with the fucking thing. I'm sweating there. And finally, his head got so fucking square, I couldn't take it no more. And I go, honey, you got to fucking change this. And she looked at me. She goes, fine, change it. What's the big deal? I go, you got to fucking change it. That's it. And she goes, okay, fine. And she got up and went to the other room to watch it. I'm just sitting there like fucking, I switched the channel to some fucking channel just to sit there. I was so fucked up. I didn't tell her that night that I did it. I told her like the next day I did some ketamine. I was fucked up. She's like, how old are you? What the fuck is wrong with you? I was so fucked up. from that ketamine. She went in. I think I stayed there for another hour. I came down, and that was the end of the night. It wasn't that bad of a drug. It didn't fucking kill me or nothing. I never did it again. I'll tell you that much. I don't ever want to be that fucked up. I don't want to be that fucked up ever again. Ever since I moved here, I made the move, I can't handle a lot of shit no more. I can't handle what I was doing in L.A. Like edibles, you don't see me eating those fucking things in the daytime. The last time we were fucking around here one day, do you remember I sprayed a couple sprays in my mouth? Jesus. 2 hours later, I was in fucking planet Mars. So my edible consumption is done. That shit is all done with. I use edibles now to go to fucking sleep. I pop 3 of those fucking edibles and a cup of tea at night, that Kikamo tea. You don't even see me till the next day. Sometimes I fall asleep on the fucking couch here. Lately, I've been making it upstairs because I don't want to fall asleep on the couch and have my wife come down and get me. That's a fucking nightmare. But anyway, it's been a great fucking week, man. And I'm happy you guys are still supporting me. I'm happy you're still a part of the fucking joint. You know, I'm having my struggles, but I'm pushing fucking through, guys. This is very hard for me to do. But hey, we're trying our fucking best. So what I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to try to do a Zoom guy on Mondays, and then we'll have a little chat on fucking Wednesdays until we get the new office, and then we'll fucking go full boat out. But a man without a plan is not a man. At least I got a fucking plan. And then the Latin podcast, the Spanish podcast is also going to go mainstream once I figure it out and I get my Spanish down and whatnot. So we'll have 2 podcasts going, one exclusively in Spanish, one exclusively in English. The Joint in English and La Descarga in Spanish. For you people who don't know what La Descarga means in Spanish, it means a fucking ear beating. What I give you people every Monday and Wednesday and every Thursday and Friday on fucking Patreon is a fucking ear beating of life. Some of you enjoy it. Some of you is like, fuck you, cocksucker, I'm making a pass. But hey, if you're here, I love you. And if you're not here, I still love you too. I don't give a fuck. People got to come and go. I'm not the only game in town. I know that going in. So I'm appreciating you motherfuckers still watching the podcast, still supporting me, and still being on Patreon. You know, I got a kind note the other day. That's kind. That must have been the scallops I had for lunch with the brown rice. I'm trying to be a little healthy. You know what I'm saying? The other day, this fart is tremendous. I just got a whiff of it. It's fucking tremendous. If you've noticed, I haven't been farting on the podcast as much. You know, somebody sent me an email the other day, and it was a very nice email. You know, I don't like to base the podcast around emails. When I do get an email, I'm like a fucking priest or a lawyer. It's my business. I will never if you send me an email, and a lot of people on Patreon say this to me, like, hey, man, I've never said this to nobody. So when I address an email sometimes, it's because I might see it on Facebook or Patreon or Twitter or something like that. But somebody sent me a very kind note. And they said that they had listened to the joint a couple times, and they were a little disappointed. They said, I'm not going to lie to you. First of all, with me, I love honesty. I fucking love honesty. Listen, there's a way to say things and there's a way not to say things. You can't go up to somebody and say, hey, you suck. But you go up to somebody and say, I disagree with what you're doing. If you say it correctly in the right way, unless you're dealing with a fucking jack-off, they're not going to come at you. It's like when I told the story about Matt, when we were talking about with Doug Stanhope, I told the story about Matt, whatever his name is, that came and gave me a talking to. You know, I took it wrong, and at that time I was a jerk-off. And yes, I walked to the bus station, and then I walked back to fucking smack him. But days later, I came to my wits about me, and I was like, the guy was right. You know, what's right, it's right. You know, I love honesty. A couple weeks ago, some girl on Patreon said, listen, I didn't up the tier. I upped the tier with a motive. I wanted to talk to you about stand-up comedy. And I go, just come down to Uncle Vinny's and do a fucking spot. I simplified her fucking life for her. She goes, I never really, whatever. You know, don't ask me for a spot. I'm not going to give it to you. I'm just letting you know how I respond to different fucking people. If you send me an email with honesty, my dick gets hard. I don't give a fuck if you put me down and go, Joe, you're too fucking fat. And I've had people reach out to me and say some kind things to me. Hey, man, you're slipping over here. you're doing too many drugs. We had people that reached out to me on the podcast, and I accepted them, and I didn't yell at them or go back at them. It's when you come at me like a fucking jerk off that, sure, sometimes I go, that person's having a bad day, I won't even re-answer them. But sometimes I'll lash out. We all do. You're doing something nice with your kid, you sit down, you open up a message, and it's somebody fucking attacking you for no fucking reason and saying a bunch of shit to you. That shit doesn't piss me off. It just makes me feel sorry for you. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? But this guy wrote me a kind email, and he was like, listen, I've listened to you for 10 years. I love everything that you do. This podcast, I listened to the first 4 episodes, and it was kind of disappointing, whatever, to me, whatever. But, he goes, I went, and I took a breather. I listened to a few churches, and I thought about it after watching the churches, what you were doing. You were trying to reinvent yourself, and I didn't see it. That's why you don't smoke on the podcast. That's why you never wear the white T-shirts on the podcast no more. That's why you don't fart on the podcast no more. You're coming back as an older, wiser. I know the podcast game. I'm a 10-year fucking veteran of it. This isn't the best podcast out there. There's 20,000 better podcasts than it. But you're not going to get somebody who's as honest and has the heart that I have in telling you a story or talking to you about a situation or anything like that. That's where my strength lies. Some people don't like that. Some people rather hear, whatever, just a conversation. There's a lot of podcasts I do, and I don't get the point of them, why I do them. I really don't, because it's just too much. I want to get something from, I want to bang from my buck. When I listen to a podcast, I want to laugh, or I want to learn something, With the church, we were doing, and that's what he said. He goes, you guys are doing drugs. You guys are doing, and he goes, I kind of miss that. But now I see what you're trying to do. And he goes, I'm happy that you didn't give up, and I'm happy that you pushed forward, and I'm happy that you're doing it, and that's what it's all about. It's balls. Keep sticking to your fucking plan and keep pushing. This is weighing everybody down. This has changed the game for everybody. You ever turn on CBS? Blue Bloods is on 6 days a fucking week, right? Fucking everything is on 8 days a week. Have you noticed that? I mean, this has affected everybody. What I'm trying to do here is just lighten your load for an hour and let you know that you're not going through this alone. I'm going through this. You could see it in my fucking face. I mean, yeah, I'm happy that I'm going through this, but everybody's going through something. You're not going through this alone. You don't need to turn yourself into the loony bin. You don't need to. The best therapy is your friends. Your friends are right in front of you. Reach out to your friends. I've been reaching out, and I felt a lot better. I've reached out to all the comics that left L.A., from Theo to fucking Josh Wolf to Bert. I didn't know the Segura's moving to Texas in a few weeks. Reach out to your friends. They're the best therapy. They love you. They know you. Don't not reach out to them because of what you're going through. You don't need extensive therapy or whatever. If the love of your friends can't help you out, then you turn to therapy. But your friends are there for you. They should be there for you. That's what they're there for. Tell them what you're going through. I was honest with Rich Voss and Jimmy Florentine and everybody. I told them, man, I'm struggling with this. I don't want to go do comedy in big venues and shit like that yet. They get it. We go meet, we all wear masks, we go to lunch, whatever, We're pushing through this. Push through this. Don't give up. Don't let this situation take you down. We'll be back next Monday for another fun-filled week of podcasts and Patreoning and Facebooking and talking about my stinky balls. Until then, I love you motherfuckers. Enjoy the ads and have a great week. Remember, Uncle Joey loves you. And now to a word from our sponsors. All right, that was a nice little chit-chat on a Wednesday morning. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? It's your Uncle Joey talking to you from the heart as always. Before I leave, I'm going to talk to you about a few things. Number one, stampsmotherfucking.com. You know how much time you could save by fucking going with Stamps.com? Let's face it, taking trips to the post office ain't how you want to spend your time. That's why I recommend Stamps.com. My wife has been with them for 10 years. She loves them. You can send letters, ship packages anytime, anywhere, right from your computer, and pay less. Get discounted rates from USPS, UPS, and more. Stamps.com has saved thousands of hours and tons of money for businesses, whether big or small. I don't give a fuck if you send out 3 hats a month. Stamps.com is going to help you, and you can save time. If you've got a business, Stamps.com is a must-have. Print U.S. postage for any letter, any package, any class of mail. Send anywhere in the world. That's a scheduled pickup, and the mailman will come to you. Who's better than you? Nobody. Or drop it off yourself. It's that simple. But get discounts up to 40% off post office rates and 62% UPS shipping rates. That's a lot of stamps. Stamps.com is a no-brainer. No wonder a million small businesses already use Stamps.com. So I'm inviting you guys today to stop wasting your fucking time by going to the post office and standing there, and just go to Stamps.com. There's a no-risk trial, okay? Use promo code Joey. I'm going to throw you a special offer that includes 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. Who's better than you? Nobody. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone on the top of the homepage, and type in Joey. That's Stamps.com. Use promo code Joey. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again. And from the heart of Jersey, we're brought to you by fucking DraftKings, the best. Listen, right now, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Why fuck around? Why play games? You know how much fun I've been having on DraftKings? Do you have any fucking idea? No, you don't. It's fucking fun. They got a nice parlay for you tonight. I was telling you at the beginning of the game, you got San Antonio versus Dallas. You could bet the game, the total. There's odds boosts, there's teasers. And listen, you're not going to go over your head because you're already fucking right there. It's not like calling the bookie and telling them to put a bet in that you got to pay the rent $2,000 and you don't have it. No, you can't bet if you can't play. You keep it small and you fucking bet and you make a little money from time to time. I mean, fuck, the biggest college basketball tournament of the year is getting ready to fucking heat up, and the clock is ticking as the seeds get ready to tip off. Get off the fucking bench and get into tournament action. They got a deal for you this weekend. You bet $4 on an underdog. If they win, you're up to $256. That's fucking insanity. If anybody knows about betting on an underdog, it's your Uncle Joey. Look at me now. I was an underdog. There's no better way to put your college basketball knowledge to the test than by putting your money where your fucking mouth is with DraftKings Sportsbook. College ball ain't for you? Okay. DraftKings Sportsbook has great odds and promotions on the NBA fucking playoffs, golf, hockey, and so much more. They got a fucking tremendous casino. DraftKings is America's top-rated sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, reliable, and you withdraw your money when you want. It's your fucking money, knucklehead. Who's better than you? Nobody's gonna take your fucking money. Right now, download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Use promo code Joy when you sign up, and you could turn $4 into $256. And it starts tonight with San Antonio at the Dallas fucking Mavericks. It starts tonight. Tonight you got to play right there. That line is soft. Look at the fucking totals. So by the time the weekend comes and the brackets come, you'll be ready to rock to turn $4 into $256 for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. And here's the part the lawyers make me say. You got to be 21 or older. Take your fucking roller skates and roll down a hill. New Jersey, Indiana, PA only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. You got a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT. But if you're fucking all fucking down to fucking play, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and tell them Uncle Joey sent you. Stop fucking around. The joint is also brought to you by Lucy Nicotine Gum. Listen, it's hard to quit smoking. You know, I did it. It's fucking hard. I did it differently, though. I'll tell you how I did it later. When you're craving to smoke, you just need a little something to satisfy the habit. That's why I love fucking Lucy. Things may be rough, but you don't need to smoke anymore. Get Lucy today so you're prepared when you get the itch. Keep it on you when your craving hits, and subscribe so when you need it, you have it. Lucy Gum actually tastes fucking good. It comes in 3 flavors: wintergreen, cinnamon, pomegranate. My favorite is the pomegranate, and if you don't like gum, they also got the cherry ice flavored lozenge that will make you jump up and down and salute the flag 25 fucking times. Try the pomegranate. Try the wintergreen. Try the cinnamon, but it's better than you fucking ruining your health with cigarettes. Uncle Joey's Joints listeners, do me a favor. Go to Lucy.co. Use promo code Joey to get 20% off all products, including gum or lozenges. That's Lucy.co. Use promo code Joey at checkout. And here's the lawyer part. This product contains nicotine derived from tobacco. Nicotine is an addictive fucking chemical. But you already know that, so just go to Lucy.co and be sure you use that promo code Joey. I love you, motherfuckers. Stay black. I hope you enjoyed the podcast this week. I'm on Patreon, $3, $5, and $10. Album of the week, reefer of the week, fucking Spanish podcast, whatever. I'm doing it. I'm hustling. We're hustling. We got to keep moving forward no matter how you feel. I love you, motherfuckers. Have a great week, and thank you for listening to Uncle Joey's Joint. Now go fucking make something of yourself and be a savage, cocksuckers. I love you.